From Russia with love. That is pretty much how I'd sum up the Mosin Nagant, or Nagant, M44 Carbine. This is the Carbine version. Hi guys, this is RACKNLOAD, and excuse the poor lighting. It's a little bit cramped to where I am at the minute. We've just done a house move and it's just a little bit anyhow, so I'm sort of tucked away in the corner of our garage. Set up my sort of little studio. It's not quite there yet. The lighting, as you can see, is a little bit, but hey ho, got to press on, got loads to do, got to keep the channel going. So going to be doing a few videos on these things, Mosin Nagants. I've got this one to do, the good old flame throwing carbine, the M44. Got the infantry to do and got the sniper to do. Loads of footage of us sort of playing with these. You know, we've had some serious fun with this particular rifle as well. We've seriously put some serious amount of lead downrange. Like I said, launched from this rifle. But let's give you a few little specs on it anyway, and then we'll have a closer look. More of an overview. You can't really review a a war-proven battle rifle. You know, it's kind of insulting to say I'm going to go and review it. So it's more of an overview. So I'll read you some specs now. I'm going to read it straight off Wikipedia because, like I said, I'm totally disorganised at the minute with this house move. So basically, the M44 Mosin Nagant, I call him Nagant or Nagant, however you want it, I call it Nagant. Basically, it's a bolt action rifle, 5-shot bolt action rifle, internal magazine. These were developed from 1882 to 1881 and used by armed forces of the Russian Empire, Soviet Union, various other nations. It is the most mass-produced rifle on the planet. 37 million of these things, not just the carbine, but Mosin Nagants in general. 37 million of them have been made, okay? And they're still used in wars to date. You know, they're still, I guess, what's the word? But they're still in combat, I guess. That's how you'd sort of explain it, I guess. Yeah, these things are still in combat to this very day. And that's not bad, is it, really, for a rifle that is well over 100 years old, you know. So, moving on, I'm just scrolling through. I'm on my mobile phone, just scrolling through, scrolling through Wikipedia. I'll give you some specs then. I did write all this down, but I've just lost it. We're living out of boxes in a minute, guys. I tell you, it's just anyhow. Priority was when we moved in was obviously get the gun cabinets bolted to the wall and get them secure, then get the kids in the house. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I digress. Moving on. Basically then, I'll just sort of go through some of the wars that these things have sort of been in. Philippine Revolution, the Russian-Japanese War, World War One, the Finnish Civil War, Russian Revolution, Russian Civil War, Polish/Soviet War, Turkish War of Independence, Chinese Civil War. The list goes on. It's a massive list of where these things have seen action, you know. And this particular rifle, who knows, may have seen quite a bit of action. Who knows? So basically, the guy that designed this thing was named Captain Sergei Mosin Nagant. Okay. Like I said, number of these things built, 37 million. Lots of different variants. This particular M44 carbine, going into specs, is weighing in at about 9 pounds or 4.1 kilos. So it's quite a heavy one, really. But you know, these things are absolutely bomb proof. They are literally bomb proof. So basic as well. the operation of them, of the actual rifle is, it's literally like stickle bricks. Do you know what I mean? And apparently that was for the Red Army. You know, apparently they weren't very technically minded, so they basically just gave them a bit of wood with a tube on, you know, and nothing really could go wrong. They'd figure out how to use it. So the length of this thing, the carbine, 39.9 inches. Barrel length is 20.2 inches. 7.62 by 54R, or 7.62 Russian, if you depends how you want to say it. Like I said, bolt action. Muzzle velocity from these things, using sort of the standard, well, let's call it as surplus ammo, 800 meters a second, or 2,625 feet per second. Okay, if I've got that right. I'm reading, like I said, I'm reading it off Wikipedia, and I am, you know, just reading it off there. I'll put all these details in the, you know, at the bottom of the video, details of the video. But let's not bore you. I mean, there's loads of history with these rifles. I'll show you the actual rounds that they get, the rounds that they actually take, when I can say it. So this is some surplus 7.62 Russian. This is the sort of stuff that you get in the old sardine tins, if you can still get hold of it now. I know it is getting quite expensive and quite difficult to get hold of it now. The actual sardine tins, you guys that own these things, you'll know what I'm on about. It's basically an ammo tin that you literally have to open with a key, like a sardine tin, and then you get all, I think you get about 420 or 440 rounds in a sardine tin, all sort of wrapped in the sort of grease-proof paper. Pretty cool, you know. It adds to the cool factor, I think, of these particular rifles. You know, if you're into your sort of historic rifles, then you know, one of these things will really sort of float your boat. Now let's take a closer look then. Now, basically, this one, it has been restored lovingly by a friend of mine. This isn't actually my particular rifle, but he's sorted out the woodwork, really sort of got this thing really nice. But there's your sort of butt plate there, metal butt plate. Excuse me. And then just a basic stock. You know, look how straight that is. There's not even a hint of a pistol grip there. And then moving on to the bolt. That is what gives these rifles away, is the upright bolt, you know, that you have to treat like a lady. I shouldn't really say that. You sometimes have to be gentle with it, sometimes have to be a little bit rough. Depends how she's feeling. I don't know where I'm going with that. Let's just leave that there. There's the internal magazine, as you can see. Stripper clip notch there, if you can just see it. So that's how you basically load these things. I'll throw in some footage. I usually shred my fingers when I'm using them stripper clips, or you can just load it singularly. Doesn't really matter. Open sights. I'll show you the sniper, the Mosin Nagant sniper, in another video. Stay tuned. But this is the carbine, and this thing is basically famous. Famous. Guys that know the Mosin Nagants know that this thing will basically breathe fire. It breathes fire like a dragon. Because the barrel's so short, there's so much unburnt powder getting pushed out the muzzle, then it ignites and you get the big flash, almost sort of like black powder flash out the front without the smoke. Really quite impressive. I'll roll in footage and photographs. It really is cool. Well, it was pretty hot actually. But these things though, the carbines especially, if you're sat next to one shooting next to a shooter that's shooting one, or you buy a shooter that's shooting one, it seriously rocks your world, because the muzzle blast out of these things is just it's quite harsh. Now, me and my friend, we shot this particular rifle one summer's afternoon. I'll throw the link into the video. We put down 350 to 400 rounds, probably more on over 400 rounds through this particular rifle downrange in one afternoon. We really gave this rifle some punishment. We got it pretty hot. And what we discovered, sort of moving on to accuracy, was two things as far as accuracy goes. Notice there's a bayonet. Now, first of all, we discovered that if you don't fix the bayonet, which I shall demonstrate, by the way, notice the shape of the bayonet. That was just to inflict as much damage as possible and basically create a wound that couldn't really be stitched up very well. That's the idea of that. And plus, at the end of it as well, doubles as a screwdriver, so you could basically strip the rifle down if you needed to. But and to operate to open the bayonet, is basically you pull, and then it flips out like that, and then you've got to basically pull it again. It's like on a spring-loaded thing, and then it goes over the muzzle. Goes over the muzzle like that without me trapping my fingers, and locks in like that. What we discovered, there it is, look, there's the bayonet. Looks pretty awesome with that on. I've not got enough room to sort of show you in its full elegance, if that's what you call it. But what we discovered, with the bayonet fitted, it actually increased accuracy of this particular rifle. May not on all, but we discovered with this one it did. Now, what we basically thought, is it to do with the barrel, like the harmonics of the barrel, because that is actually over the muzzle? I think so. I think it basically, you know, what's the word? Sort of depletes muzzle barrel oscillation a little bit. You know, basically stops all the vibes of the barrel. Maybe we just, after all the rounds that we've fired through this, we really did basically discover that with the bayonet fitted and open and in position, accuracy was increased. And as well, let me just fold that away because I've not got enough room. It's pretty neat actually, the bayonet is. You will get some funny looks on the range when you have got it out, and we did, you know, they were like, why you got your bayonet out? And when you basically say to them, well, it's better for accuracy because it's, you know, it's hooked onto the barrel via that sort of lug there. They're like, okay, so you don't so much get a weird look then. But what the second thing as well, as far as accuracy, that was the first thing. Basically, with the bayonet open, it increases accuracy. What we discovered as well, we were shooting this out to about 400 yards. But to start with, we were sort of shooting on paper at about 100. And yeah, like I said, they're not the most accurate rifle. And the surplus ammo ain't exactly that consistent. Plus, you know, you've got the recoil and all the other stuff, and me being a crap shot, blah blah blah. There's all that to sort of take into consideration. But what we did discover was, after about 300 yards, the bullet actually seems to settle down. So 100 yards, it's still, you know, a little bit off. I'm not going to get technical. I don't know. You tend not to get the accuracy at 100 yards. It's like the bullet hasn't stabilised. We stretched it out to about 350 to 400. The bullet really settled down, and we were able to get on steel pretty much every shot, you know, not every shot, but mostly every shot, probably 85% of the shots, we were on the money at about 350-ish to 400 yards. So that's quite interesting. It's like the bullet is settling down, you know. So is it a fluke? Is it us? Don't know. But that's what, after 400 that afternoon, when we were really sort of playing with this thing and seeing what it could do, that's basically the sort of sweet spot of range, basically. That was the range where we were sort of getting best results. Okay, and we just put it down to the bullet. It was settling down by the time it sort of got that far out the muzzle, or that far down range. Now, if you are actually after one of these particular rifles, you can pick them up quite cheap because there are that many of them around. You know, they're not like a rare rifle at all. You know, that's why you see people sort of really tricking these things out. You know, they'll take a stock off, they'll put like a modern day stock on, you know, and really sort of pimp these things up. You know, yeah, it probably might make the purist cringe a little bit, but each to his own, but you can get these things, you know, this 2018, you can get them well under £500 here in the UK. You know, you pick up a pretty decent one, you know. But I think the problem that's really going to sort of affect these rifles, well, not affect them, but the problem that owners of these rifles will start to find is ammo. I really do think that ammo is going to get harder and harder to come by as this surplus stuff is used up. That's just my opinion, you know. Maybe not, but sooner or later it's going to run out, and then, you know, you might have to just reload this stuff. Then I'm not sure if any manufacturer makes this Russian 7.62 factory loads. Don't know. If they do, it's going to be a bit more expensive than the surplus stuff, let me tell you. But no, just a cool rifle, you know, an iconic rifle. You've seen the sniper ones, you know, Enemy at the Gates, you know, you've seen that movie. We'll do that video in the not too distant future, but like I said, I'm going to work my way through the Mosin Nagant family, if that's what you call it. Hopefully in the next video I'll have a bit better lighting and I'll be set up properly. But anyway, enough of my excuses. But no, what a cool rifle. Let's have a look at the bolt. We'll just show you the bolt. I mean, the quality of these things are seriously built to last. I mean, you know, like I said, these things were just built like, I don't know, tractors, basically. They're pretty much workhorses, these things were, you know. Just made so simple, you know, no sort of fancy stuff on them. It was just bit of wood, tube, bolt, trigger, mag, ready to rock. But just a cool rifle. Trigger as well. I mean, the triggers on these things are really not bad at all. I mean, I've not got my trigger pull scale. Well, let's pull it. Ooh, I don't know what that would be actually. I don't know where my trigger puller is, guys. I'm like I say, I'm that disorganised at the minute. But it's nice. It's a nice trigger. It feels nice, and the actual trigger itself is pretty damn comfortable. But like I said, that afternoon we had where we were seriously testing this thing. 400 or so rounds through this rifle. We were battered, basically. Our shoulders had enough, you know. It's not the most comfortable rifles to shoot, but me being a lefty, I found this thing more comfortable to shoot than a Lee Enfield. Way more comfortable. Don't know what it is with Lee Enfields, but they seem to bite me pretty badly. But the Mosin Nagant, pretty comfortable for a lefty. But I mean, looking at the stock, it ain't exactly right-handed, is it? It's pretty much ambi. You see, the Russians thought of us lefties back then. No, they basically wanted a rifle that any sort of Red Army Russian soldier could use. But yeah, just an awesome thing to shoot, and it's for the sheer fact of you get a flame out the front of this that's like 2-3 foot long is just, you know, more fun than actually hitting the target, if you ask me. Seeing that thing, you know, and watching everyone on the range turn round and say, what the flipping heck was that? It's just cool. It's just a serious cool factor. If I owned one of these, would I do it up? As in, put it in another stock? No, I'd keep it original. Keep it real. Keep it original, you know. I think these things deserve, although they're not rare, they do deserve, I think, to be sort of kept as they are. You know, it's a piece of history at the end of the day. But just so cool. You have a look at some of the markings on there if I can get close enough. There's some of the markings showing the caliber there. Look, 7.62. 54R. Proof marks. I guess. Just a cool rifle. So that's it then, guys. That's just a bit of an overview of the Mosin Nagant Carbine M44. Couldn't resist just doing a little video on it in a rack and load style. Totally disorganised rack and load style at the moment, but hey ho, gotta keep pressing on, guys, gotta keep pressing on. But just a cool rifle. If ever you see one of these at the range, just stand and watch this thing, you know, sling some rounds down range, you know, and maybe ask the owner, see if you can have a little go, and you will just love it. You will love it. Seriously will. Well, that's it, guys. That is your rack and load overview of the Mosin Nagant M44 Carbine from Russia with love. The thing I love about these war rifles, these battle rifles, is the thought of what these things have done, what action they've been in. You know, it really is quite fascinating. You know, not sure whether I like the thought of knowing that maybe this particular rifle has actually sort of put people in their final resting place. So that's kind of weird. It's not weird, but it is what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's a weapon. Just hope that bayonet ain't been in someone's chest. Ugh, it's clean anyway. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, guys. That is Rack and Load. See ya.